Hey, what's up, y'all? You know, if there's one thing that I love just as much as lifting weights, it's video games. They've always been a very important thing to me, a healthy source of escapism. And one thing that video games have also prepared me for is unimaginable disappointment. I remember there was, when I was younger, I was over at a friend's house and he had a stack of scratched PS1 discs that were all destroyed. I remember one of them was Apocalypse starring Bruce Willis, and in that stack was a copy of Parasite Eve, and I had no idea what that game was. And leading up to it, I had always brainstormed in my brain, like, oh man, I wish they would make like a survival horror RPG. I wish they would make a game like Resident Evil and Final Fantasy combined. And little did I know that this is exactly what I was looking for. But the problem is that the disc was so scratched and destroyed, I could only play like the very first part, and a lot of the times the cutscenes, which there's a lot in the game, would cause the disc to scratch and lock up. But every once in a while I could get into some gameplay and I could see it would transition from the pre-rendered backgrounds, the normal, it wasn't tank controls, but it was kind of similar with the pre-rendered background and a 3D character moving around, but it would transition into the battles just by a flash of the screen, and then the enemies were there, and then you were in like a survival horror mode where you would bring up this ring and it would show the range of your weapons, and then you could attack, and then you would learn like spells and stuff. Long story short, it was exactly what I was looking for, and I was so excited to find out that they were going to make a second one. I was so excited that I bought I was one of those kids that would get the strategy guide because I didn't have the game, and I would just read the strategy guide over and over and over, you know, like ruining the game before I even had a chance to play it. But it was my way of like immersing myself into the world, and I was so excited to play this game. But the problem is that they took it in a completely different direction. I knew something was off even as a kid. The pre-renders were beautiful, but I noticed they integrated tank controls, which was kind of peculiar. Resident Evil 2 had just come out and it was very, very popular. And basically what Square wanted to do is they wanted to replicate the success of Resident Evil 2 and basically make their own survival horror game. But the problem with that is that they stripped pretty much all of the RPG elements out of the game. It had really cool monster design. Honestly, the soundtrack isn't that good. I used to think it was amazing, but I went back and listened to it, and the main thing is just it just has a really, really good title theme, but everything else is kind of ambient and simple. But yeah, I had even as a kid, I had such high expectations for this game. And what I got was completely different, even with the strategy guide. That was another thing. I had the strategy guide. I almost, to a point, I knew what to expect, but it didn't really break down what the gameplay was going to be. And I remember looking at the strategy guide, just like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of RPG in this RPG. But yeah, I was, besides the 3D cutscenes, I mean the pre-rendered cutscenes were absolutely beautiful. And for a survival horror game, it was actually pretty good. It was fun. But I wanted the RPG, shooter, survival horror, like amalgamation that was Parasite Eve. And then they also did the same thing with, the third birthday, where they couldn't even call it Parasite Eve 3. The game was so terrible. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit, so I'm gonna give a little bit of a background on games before I do gameplay on them, and then up next I'll do some of the videos from the game and some of the gameplay. But yeah, this was one of the first of many games to disappoint me when I was really, really excited for them. Funny enough, I'll do another video, or I'll do a video about it soon, but Code Veronica not, it wasn't disappointing, but Code Veronica was one of those games that I was able to get the strategy guide first, and I was obsessed, like looking through the strategy guide, getting all prepped up. But that game didn't disappoint when I got it. And like I said, it's not that Parasite Eve 2 is a bad game. It's just not a good Parasite Eve game, if that makes sense. It has some of the most beautiful pre-rendered backgrounds I've ever seen. The game is absolutely gorgeous, and on emulators it's held up really, really well. The gameplay mechanics are pretty good. The story is incredibly goofy, but it's a video game. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with y'all. This game is extremely nostalgic to me, and I'm gonna follow this up with some gameplay. Y'all stay tuned. I've got a big powerlifting meet coming up on the 3rd. I'm super excited about it. Trying to diversify content a little bit while I take some more rest days. But yeah, y'all stay tuned. And this is Parasite Eve 2. Thank y'all for your support. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Stay tuned. Lots more content coming. Thank y'all very much.
Freeze.